Before the Barra, before the FG, before the XR6 Turbo, before the BA and BF, there was this beautiful machine here that existed, the XF Falcon. This was Ford's family sedan back in the 80s. This one here being a 1985 XF Falcon GL, pre-unleaded, so a Series 1. We have recently picked up to save, bring back to life, and also give away to one of you guys. So the model before this was the XE Falcon, and a lot of improvements happened in this new model, the XF. This one here having a couple of factory options fitted, including power steering and air conditioning, so it handles pretty well. So before this model was the XE, it had different front headlights and a couple of mechanical changes as well. There's the two cars next to each other. So what did Ford improve from the XE to the XF? One of the biggest changes was the styling. So the front end and rear end got modernized, sleeker headlights, different grille. It was more common to have the EFI motor fitted. This one here still has the 4.1 litre carby, so super old school. It got a more comfortable interior, so new seats, updated trim, and the Fairmont gear in the XF had a full digital dash as well. They also improved the road noise, and a lot believe that this was a better highway car as they refined the suspension a little bit, offering better stability and ride quality. But one interesting fact about the XF Falcon was it was the first ever Falcon offered without a V8 option. So you cannot factory Ford get an XF with a V8 in it. Why did the XF become so popular in the mid-80s? Around the time this car was released, fuel emissions and the cost of fuel was becoming a problem. So Ford didn't offer the V8 engine anymore. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. So the XF ended up being one of the most popular production cars. They sold around 278,000 of these, but these days there's not many left. So that's why we're on a mission to save Aussie cars. This car specifically, we've saved it off a guy named Steve. So my brother sent me a text message and he said, hey, are you interested in this XF? One of my mates who is a builder has messaged him saying he wanted to get rid of it. And like all the cars I've bought, I initially said, no, I don't need more cars. But then after looking into it, I got that feeling of like, yep, this is the next vehicle to save and give to one of you guys. So here it is. It was too clean to pass up. It's got a really nice body. It's been kept in dry storage for most of its life. And you might have seen already, we did a couple of improvements to it. So I probably spent a couple of weeks on this car already. So one of the major things I've done is completely go underneath and inspect the underbody. So we realized it had a little bit of surface rust here and there when we got the exhaust done at Sharp Exhaust. So I've spent the majority of my time on this thing getting under there and hand cleaning the underbody, and which has already been rust coated and treated, because if that's not treated then you'll have issues further down the track for the next owner, and we want this to be a car that people can enjoy for many years to come. So it is a big job and you don't really see much on the surface, but underneath it just preserves it for many years to come. Other than that, I gave the car a decontamination, which is where we try and get all the road grime, iron, tar off the paint. So used a few new chemicals, so a lot of you guys were interested. So I'm using the Koch Chemie GS, a Green Star. That's a degreaser. That's what I used to degrease most of the underbody in that first video. And then I'm also going in with the Koch Chemie rust remover. There is very similar other products of same brands. One product I genuinely have loved using lately is the Smooth As Car Care product. So we're going to be using some of their interior detailing on the inside, so stay tuned to check out that. So after receiving these photos from my brother, I called up Steve, the owner of this car, and he also had another XF Fairmont gear for sale, which actually caught my attention more than this one because I've always wanted a Fairmont gear. And I thought maybe I could do both. So I spoke to Steve, really great guy, drove up to Ballarat to have a look at the cars with the trailer on the back. Unfortunately, having a few issues with my territory that, as you guys might have seen in some of my Instagram posts, we did fit a new turbo to it and had issues with oil leaking from the head. So when I got to Steve's place with this trailer on, we noticed that the engine was smoking quite a lot, and Steve kindly gave me a hand to try and seal it back up. That's a whole nother story, but so made my way up there, and this was my first look at the car. Immediately impressed by the lack of rust on this thing. So usually these cars, the quarters are rusted out if they've been left outside, but Steve told me this thing's been in dry storage for years and he planned to do it up one day. But Steve has a whole bunch of other awesome cars, like this really clean XB, which he gave me a look at. So after chatting with him for a while about the cars and the history, they've been in his family for a long time, I felt like it was just right of me to grab both the cars off him and bring them home and put them in the queue of projects that need to be done. Because I can see a vision. I love the burgundy Fairmont gear. that he has. Like, I just picture it finished off and restored and back on the road, and it just makes me happy. Same with this cream one. So really fortunate that both cars are running and driving as well. But we'll tell you more about the XFM on gear in future videos, because that's a future project which needs a little bit more work. So this was my first look at the XF. So Steve threw a battery in it. We started it up. So it's got the Carby motor 4.1. It's also got a couple of the old McDonald's drive-through stickers on it as well. Checking out the interior. Very original and not messed with, which is awesome. It's got the low center console, which I think looks really cool. Unfortunately, the driver's seat has a little bit of a tear in it and a couple little marks on the exterior as well, but definitely so much room for a great potential cruiser. Steve suggested that we just lower it and put it on some nice rims and it'd be cool. And it's amazing to see that it still has the factory fitted 14-inch hubcaps and tires still on it, which is so rare to see these days. So initially I loaded up the Fairmont gear first because I was more excited about that one. Going back, Steve threw in a whole bunch of spares as well to sweeten the deal. So he's giving me spare dashes, spare tail lights, spare interior pieces, badges, like a whole bunch of stuff, door cards. So that was really, really good. And then he took me in the shed to check out his XB. So this thing is pretty powerful. It's got a pretty sweet motor in it, built motor. It's got the patina on the paint. It's got some really rare parts on it as well. And something he told me about, which I didn't know, was the original green tinted windows. It's also got I believe, like genuine GT headlights in it, some rare dash. Absolute beast, sounds amazing. So while towing it home, I kept going in and checking the oil leak on the Territory, and I was smoking a little bit. I didn't really want this thing to catch on fire, so Steve kindly gave me his fire extinguisher, which I said to him I would either bring it back to him or replace it. I didn't even make it halfway home, stopped at the servo and just saw it was smoking way too much, so I decided to call it there. Left the car on the trailer and my dad came to rescue me. RACV came and picked up the car, but my dad just hooked the car and trailer onto his one and took me home, which was really good. And then about a week later, organised the tow for the cream one. So got that one dropped off, and this is a video of it getting dropped off. Immediately after it got dropped off, gave it a wash. Here's some photos of how it came off the trailer. I was so keen to get stuck straight into this. And there's a little test patch of the buff that I did. So another issue with the car was the exhaust, unfortunately, had been snapped off halfway. So later on, I ended up just welding that back on to get it down to sharp exhaust. But first, I jacked this thing up and gave it a thorough underbody wash. So using those chemicals, as I said before, with GS Koch Chemi, jumped in there, let it pre-soak, and then it was a lot of fun, and I got really messy, high pressure washing and cleaning up the car. Underbody, check out the amount of dirt that came out. So I want to remove the dirt, one, because it promotes rust and moisture from sitting underneath the underbody. Not many people think of this and just have their car sit around. So the quicker it's gone, the less it's going to deteriorate the metalwork. And then I was super excited to get into the buff as well. So started masking up the car and decontaminated the paint and sent it with just the machine polish. So I didn't want to go too aggressive, but yeah, it was coming out really nice, just bringing back the shine and getting rid of a few little blemishes, which was good because the paint was kind of chalky and oxidized. As you guys know, one of my favorite things to do. Here's what it looked like with the decontamination. So anywhere you see purple is where the car had iron contamination. So yeah, went around, got heaps of, I was on a bit of a flow that day, which is good. And you know, by the end of the day, this is what the car was looking like. Here's a bit of an AI photo of it with drag spec wheels on it. What do you guys think? So the next thing I did was take it down and get some fresh fuel into it. I actually put some fresh fuel into it in a jerry can, but got an unregistered vehicle permit, put some fuel in it, took it down to sharp exhaust where he chopped off the original system and made me a whole custom system. So this car is pre-catalytic converter. So I think in 1986, cars were required to have catalytic converters due to like pollution laws. So this car has a really nice note to it, and sharp means an extremely nice exhaust that's got a great note to it as well, but it's like nice and quiet while you're cruising. I had this one video go viral on Instagram. I think I got 1 million views. I drove this thing down to the servo, so check out where the fuel filler is. If you notice, there's no fuel filler on each side. Check this out. So what you do is you open that up. I haven't cleaned in here yet. And you take that off. See, it says fuel cap here. Then you put the fuel cap in there and it holds it open. Maybe the other way is better. Looks like it's broken from that already. There you go. And then you fill it up. Me just showing where the fuel filler is, and a lot of abuse in the comments. I'm not sure why. I was just showing something interesting on my new car that some people don't know about. So after picking it up from Sharp Exhaust, drove it home. As you can see here, the rear tail light is faded. So we're going to be swapping that out shortly, which we have already, but you're going to see it in this video in a sec. Finally got that tail light replaced, so that was all faded out before. Got the car home, and I was really keen to get started on the interior as well. So took out the back seat as a bit of a test for the rest of the interior, and I hit it with some Smooth As Car Care interior cleaner just to get rid of and break up all of the grime and who knows that's in the seat. And then just did the old method of high pressure washing the seat, which I've done this in a few different cars and it's worked absolutely amazingly. So did that, tried a few different methods on the actual front seat. So sprayed some of the stuff in there and used my new orbital air gun as well, just to see how that would work. And it was cleaning it up, but not as good as a high pressure wash. A crucial thing that we needed to do was service the car. So Thomas jumped in, did an oil change. We changed the fuel filter, and we just gave it the general like once over. But after seeing the underbody of Sharp Exhaust, I really was determined to get that cleaned up and looking really good. So we start from the bottom up. So here's some footage of me scraping away at the underbody and what it's looking like so far, like a bit of the before and after. And you can see the amount of road grime this car's picked up after the last 41 years of sitting around, but it's so satisfying to see it come up nice and neat, ready for the next owner. So mechanically this car is fairly good. It does have a little bit of a misfire and it was overheating a little bit, so we flushed out the cooling system as well. We've added a new thermostat in it. It looks like it might possibly be getting a new radiator. It doesn't have any head gasket problems though. Drives really good, drives nice, it's got plenty of power. Took the car up to take some nice photos of it too. So next up on the to-do list is to hit this interior. So I need to find a good driver's seat that's not ripped. That's probably the one biggest thing about the interior that's not great. Everything else is pretty good, except apart from one little split on the dash, which we're going to be doing something with that to either replace or improve it. And we'll definitely be documenting the journey. So we're giving this car away at the end of June. If you want to jump in and grab some access to our online community or grab some merch and stickers or a hoodie or a t-shirt, you go into the draw to win some sticker. So stay tuned for the next episodes where we continue improving this car and follow along with the journey, and let us know in the comments what project you're working on, or if you like XF, or I'm guessing if you watch this far you like them. And hopefully I'll see you soon, guys. Take care and God bless.